Aho, kitipilo hele, yesipi yayani, lasawanwa.
Hello, and welcome to Among the Shawnee, a podcast for Absentee Shawnee tribal members. I'm your host, Mindy Longhorn, Media Director for the Absentee Shawnee Tribe. Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about the part of tribal sovereignty that includes the right for tribes to govern themselves, and that includes tribal elections, how they function and why they're important. And with us is our tribal election commissioner.
Yes,
Commissioner.
Election Commissioner, yes.
James Spybuck Jr.
Hello, everybody. How
Welcome
you doing?
to the show. So we are going to talk about elections, why they're important, how they're run, who can run. But before we get into that, how many members are on the Election Commission?
There's actually 5 that are elected, by the people. And we usually have up to about 3 alternates, just in case there are any absent seats available. Then those alternates can step in there. We really try to make sure they show up at every meeting so they know what's going on, stuff just in case they have to come in there.
And step up.
Yeah, but all the alternates, they can't vote. But anybody sitting in those chairs can vote on any issue that we
So the full commission is 5 members then?
Yes, and that would be the election commissioner, which is myself, deputy commissioner, secretary, election commission number 1, and election commission number 2. We always have to have 5.
You always have to have 5. Okay. Mm-hmm. So now that we know how many are on the commission, before we get into the process of voting, candidate requirements, let's start with the elections. When are they held? How often? What months? And where?
Well, according to the Constitution and our election ordinance, all elections are held twice a year. One in March, which they call it the primary election, which kind of weeds, depending on how many candidates we have, we'll weed it down to the top 2 for the annual election, which is in June. And then after that election would determine who's going to be seated in the executive committee or the election seats.
So when are if someone doesn't know, when are they held?
Well, if they look into the Constitution and stuff, it will indicate in there, the election order, they indicate in there March, the 3rd Saturday in March.
Always.
And then the next one is the 3rd Saturday in June.
Okay. And then as far as years, because it used to be every 2.
Well,
now it's 4, right?
Yes, that is kind of weird because when it was 2 years, we have, the executive committee constantly, was staggered properly to do that. But since they had a secretarial election, which changed the Constitution and increased the terms of 4 years, there's been kind of a little gap, which they kind of forgot to stagger themselves accordingly on the deal.
So we're doing 4-year terms, right?
Yeah.
So we don't have an election this year. So
actually, the election commission still has elections because we're staggered to have one every year.
But no candidates filed, right?
Right.
So
for
actually,
this year.
we're not having one, right?
Yes.
But you would have had one.
Yeah, if someone ran and stuff like last year, I ran and I was the only one to run for election commission. Right. Well, they still had to have the election.
Right, even though you were the only candidate.
That's
this
right.
year, there were none. So we will have one next year, which would be 2027.
And that will be the governor and secretary.
2027. So if someone did want to run for office, what are the requirements to run?
That would be in our Constitution or ordinance under qualification for candidates. And really according to the Constitution, there's really just, I think, 4 or 5. Is it all right I look it up here real quick?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Well, we don't want to tell someone the wrong information.
Well, true.
So I'm assuming there's an age limit probably?
Yes, there is. You got to be 21 to run for office, but 18 to vote on that deal. So
21, you can run for office.
And 18, you can vote.
Okay.
Let's see here. Qualifications.
Probably where you live. Maybe it's where you live.
It is. The 4 is you must be 21 years of age. You got to live within the 5 counties. You can, if you're a felon, after 5 years of your conviction, you can run for office. So that's why we do background checks right there. And I can't remember the next one.
I put you on the spot.
No, that's exactly what I want you to do, because that's the whole purpose. I'm trying to show everybody out there that we go by this Constitution, and things, if I can't remember, I should
You
be
look
able
back
look
to
at
the Constitution.
Uh-huh.
So you're just looking up the answers, and that's where they are.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got age, counties, residents, background check.
But that's in the Constitution. But if you go in here, under qualifications in here, there's additional qualifications.
Oh, so what is the additional qualification
That's
then?
where a lot of people kind of get mixed up on there.
Okay.
And that's where those 5 counties come in, reside, and also about the must have a GED.
Right.
Or a high school diploma, which we created a new resolution when we talked to the exec committee, where we added in that resolution a higher degree.
Mm-hmm.
You can have a higher degree because not everybody can find their high school diploma.
I probably couldn't. You're right. Right.
I mean, my Uncle Danny, he was trying to run again, but he couldn't
find it.
And he tried to go back to his high school, and
They were yeah.
Well, he was 80-something years old.
Right. So you're making it a little easier if someone wanted to run for office.
Right. Yeah, because we don't want to be, just, stickler to straight up high school diploma or GED.
Right.
I mean, you can't go to college without
a high
having one
school.
of those. And if you get your bachelor's degree and you have that, but you don't have the others.
It's a given that if you've went to
Yes.
college, you've got a high school degree.
Yes,
right.
that's correct.
Okay.
So
those are the requirements to run.
mm-hmm.
Now, I know there's also fees involved to run. Tribal members often complain that fees are high.
Well,
Why are they so high? Can we talk about that?
yes. Well,
They are a little expensive.
I'm going right back at it. Right there in
Okay.
the Constitution under Article 6, I think Section 4 is fees. And it is up to the Election Commission to determine the size of the fees.
They're
to run
high.
the election. Well, actually,
No?
they're not, because you got to remember, things are high now.
Everything
we
is
wanna buy it.
expensive,
So
right.
we have to increase it to cover those expenses and stuff. And a lot of times if we don't, we'll have our budget to cover whatever's not. So if you look at it, when there was a 2-year term, if I remember correct, I think it were $400,
Not
to
as
run
much
for
as it is
office.
now.
Well, now it's 4-year terms,
Right.
so we kind of doubled it and knocked off a couple hundred on it. So I think it's like $500 or $600 now.
To run?
I think so.
Okay, I was thinking it was more like 8 or 9.
Well, I got to look at it.
I don't know.
But under
But
the
it's expensive.
Well, under the Constitution, we can fix them or whatever. It's our discretion according to the
Okay.
Constitution.
Because I
It's
know there's a
we s-
tribe that locally here, we won't mention them, I looked it up. There's really $200 to file.
$200.
That's
Really?
cheap. Mm-hmm.
Dang,
I know.
is
That's why I
cheap.
was just asking. I was like, that's expensive.
Well,
Does that cover the background checks?
everything.
Drug testing?
Everything. I mean, it covers the background checks. It covers purchasing ballots, all the envelopes we have to send out for the absentee ballots.
So that's everything.
Oh yeah, everything. And a lot of times it not enough.
Really?
Yes, and then we have to dip into the budget to cover it. Whatever's left over. It's a process, but I don't think $600 is high. I mean,
You just made out of money over here. Just kidding.
well,
I mean, that is a little pricey, but everything is high. I mean, we know that.
You got to remember, we have to hire a judge too.
That's right.
And his fee is high.
Right.
And,
Judges make. Right.
Yeah, so.
Okay, so we've talked about the fees. Now, what would keep someone off the ballot, and then would they get their fee back?
No.
No. So it's non-refundable.
That's right.
So if you run, pay your fee, something happens,
Nah,
you don't get that back.
That's right.
So what would keep someone off the ballot?
Well, any type of ethical deal or whatever, that we would deem violation of their oath of office. Okay, we find they violated their oath of office, they could be fined, and I think it's like $5,000 in the deal if they found they violated that.
Well, what if
and
they
they
never?
can't run? And they can't run for like 4 years or
Well, what
5
if they've
years.
never been in office, though? What would keep them off the ballot?
The qualifications deal.
Okay.
If they don't meet any of the qualification, whatever, even the drug test part,
Right.
we'll send them a letter, let them know that, hey, you did not pass, this, or you violated this, and we won't make them a candidate.
Because
And
they
they'll
didn't
be
pass the drug test.
Right. And they won't get their feedback on that one.
So they're just out of that money.
Because we're going through all the process to find out.
Right.
So basically, if you know that you did something wrong, well,
Don't even apply.
Don't even try to run, but
Well, and I feel like maybe we should say in Oklahoma, the marijuana, they've passed that. It's legal, but not here at the tribe, right? I feel like the federal funding that's
been an issue here because basically we're a sovereign nation. We still fall kind of under federal law and stuff,
Right.
Whatever. But also it's the discretion of the executive committee since we have federal grants and stuff.
So if someone had a card legally in the state and they tried to run for office, would they pass the background check then?
Well, if they pass the drug test.
I mean, the
then-
drug test.
Yeah.
If they
pass the drug test, that's fine. I mean, if it's still legal out there, think about it. If you're drinking and you have alcohol and you go take the test and all of a sudden you end up showing positive for alcohol, yeah, that can keep you from, running as well.
But as long as you pass the drug test, is what you're saying.
Yes. Mm-hmm. As long as you do that, and that's all you have to do.
But if you don't get your money back.
And, and also you got to reside within the 5 counties, here. And, sometimes now we made a resolution for that. You got to at least live within those counties for 1 year and show some proof on it now. Because we had an issue or situation, last election where a candidate living out of state actually rented a place here and tried to and say he resided here.
Oh, so it was under that 1 year.
Well, when you're a resident of another state and you want to run for office here, and because the Constitution or ordinance said that you must reside in the following 5 counties here, and then you just come in and rent a house.
That's residing, right?
Yeah.
Well, you're residing.
Well, if you look
here.
up the dictionary,
Right.
reside is to stay
Right,
or hold a place.
but you're putting a limit, like a minimum, I guess.
Yes,
on that.
because we kind of base it off the Oklahoma law that if you live within Oklahoma for 1 year and you establish it here, you become a resident.
Then you can run for office.
Right. Mm-hmm.
As long as you meet all the other requirements, pass your drug test.
But we also, it's still our discretion on that because, some people leave the state to go to work.
True.
And maybe a couple of years and they come back. We're not going to hold that against them that they hadn't been residing here.
Oh, okay.
You
So
see
it's
what I'm
kind of
saying?
case by case. Everything's different. Or they were in the military or something where they weren't
and
here.
then they come back.
Or they went to college.
It's always been their residence. It's still our discretion on that.
Okay.
deal.
I mean, that makes sense, but maybe that'll kind of clear it up for someone that might be thinking they want to run.
No, true.
You never
True.
know. So, in an election year, how can someone vote?
Yeah.
I know there's different ways.
Well, there's 2 ways.
Okay.
When during the day of the election, you can go down to the polling places here on the tribal complex
And vote in person.
at a multi-purpose building, or down there at the resource center.
In Little
That's
Lex.
voting in person. The other one is by absentee ballot. Those are usually from the out of state and tribal members that still want to vote because their voice is still heard.
Right.
even
You don't
though
have to
that-
live
yeah,
here
that's
to
right.
vote.
That's
Right.
So they'll request an absentee ballot, and we got instructions on how to do that absentee ballot. Once we have proved that they are tribal members, they are enrolled members and stuff, then we will send them a ballot, with instructions on how to fill it out, an affidavit signed to show that somebody witnessed them filling out, and all the envelopes and stuff like right here.
Right.
Like this is the ballot, like a sample ballot. They'll fill it out and there'll be an affidavit. This goes in this here, which says absentee ballot.
Okay.
And they will seal it up with their ballot in there. They can fold it up or whatever. Once they stick it in there, they can go like this. And then they'll have this here. There's supposed to be an affidavit with this. Well, I don't have one with me, but the affidavit
Right.
goes in here, and then this goes inside here, and then everything's already there. All they do is put their name and stuff and send that to us.
So then they get to vote
Uh-huh.
if they don't live here.
And then the next one, that absentee ballots are good up to 20 days before the election, March and June.
So what does that mean? It's good up until 20 days.
Meaning you can't request after 20 days.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
You can't just decide a week before.
Right.
You know what?
Because
I think,
you don't know if we're going to make it here or not, or whatever. But so that's our limit, and it's stated right here in the
Right.
Constitution and ordinance. But after 20 days, within that period, we got what we call emergency ballot.
so what is an emergency ballot?
That's when the individuals say, like, all of a sudden, you're like, I'm not going to get absentee ballot. I'll go vote. Well, all of a sudden, you're like, oh, man, I can't make it that
Something
day.
came up. I got to work or whatever.
Well, you can come to the office and request an emergency ballot.
Okay.
And you'll fill out your information and everything. And once we prove that, you are an enrolled member and stuff, we will give you the ballot for you to vote on and stuff, and the affidavit, and you'll go down closest notary and do it. Put it in the envelope,
Again, right?
and then hand it to us.
Okay.
And then you can go on your Saturday and not worry
about voting. Now, do you check if someone voted? I'm not saying anyone would be unscrupulous and then came back and tried to vote again. Do you check that?
We got pretty good checks and balances.
Okay,
here.
I'm
Yes,
just
yes.
asking. I'm not saying
'Cause-
anyone would, but
No, I don't. I'm trying to remember if I heard it. I think I heard a long time ago. I think it kind of happened, but it really didn't. Someone just kind
Right.
of claimed it. But our checks and balances are pretty good on that. When you do this absentee ballot, we got your name and stuff. And when we had the name of all the tribal members from enrollment there, we actually highlight that in a
Okay.
certain color to determine these are absentee ballots.
and this person's already voted, so if they decided to show up again, they can't
right,
vote again.
Right, we see it there and say, no,
You've
you
already
have an
voted.
absentee ballot.
Right,
And
or emergency ballot.
And there has been people that showed up at the polling places,
Mm-hmm.
and we see that, hey, you got an absentee ballot. Oh, yeah, it's sitting over there, but I decided to come in and vote. I said, well, you need to bring that to us first.
So what do
before
you do,
vote.
though? Do you make them go home and get it?
Mm-hmm.
Like if they decided, you know what, I'm already out, I'm just going to go vote.
Right. No, you've got to bring that in to us because we got to have it.
Really? But just because they requested it?
Right. Because you don't know what they're going to do. I mean, they could come vote here and then they got that one. You know what
Right.
I mean? And they could miss it all, but we need to see that back before they can vote. That's one thing to keep you from voting.
Yeah.
And they do. They'll go back and they'll come back and they'll bring
Really?
it to
Okay.
us. And
So
then
you-
we write down there this, because each ballot has a number on it. So we write it in spoiled, and we've got a folder that says spoiled
Mm-hmm.
on it. We put all those in there.
Okay, that's another thing that we need to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiled ballots.
Okay.
What are they? And what constitutes a spoiled ballot? I've got a sample one too, because I know this is the ballot. It's a
Right.
sample one. It's not real. If someone just scribbling, that's spoiling.
Yeah, that's right.
You're just putting
Right here.
boomer sooner, whatever.
Yeah, that's right. In the Constitution. It says
So
there that you
I
can't-
don't like this person.
Oh, it's been done.
I know.
They have to mark it.
Right.
Oh, it's the only mark you put right in there. No,
So if
don't
you
put
do
no-
anything else, if they
No.
just want to tell you hi, they've ruined their ballot.
Pretty much.
It's spoiled.
yes.
Any kind of scribble. So if they're voting and they do mess up, do they come tell you? Should they tell you?
Yeah, well, a lot of them, I guess, if they made a mistake, they know that they still fold it up, put it in there. But
Right.
a lot of them don't know if you are in that booth and you do happen to make a mistake or spoil, then you come bring that to us because we're there, officers there.
right.
Hand it to us. You got to re-register again. We put that old one in that spoiled packet, and then we'll issue another one.
That
to
way
you.
your vote still counts. Because
Right.
if you're just over there scribbling,
We had individuals that sit there and go like, check mark candidate 1. I go,
Mm-hmm.
no, I wanted candidate 2.
right. And that was an honest mistake. But if they tell you, their ballot's not spoiled then.
Oh, yeah, if they bring
Right.
it back.
If they tell you,
Uh-huh.
like, hey, I messed up.
Yeah,
you
just,
know.
all right, here, fill this out again, and here's your new ballot.
But if they're drawing horns on someone or just being, they're ruining their ballot.
well,
They're spoiling
yeah,
it.
yeah, this spoiled.
Right. Cancels it out.
Well, one year, it was funny. nobody marked any of the points. No marks on the paper whatsoever. No check marks for a candidate. And somebody goes, "That's spoiled ballot." I said, "Nope."
So how would you count that if they didn't vote for anyone?
That's the whole point. They didn't like no one, so they turned it in to show that, hey, I'm turning my vote in. I'm voting no.
I'm voting no on everyone.
Yeah, so we counted that. So we counted it because it's legit.
I mean, it's not spoiled.
That's right.
They didn't write on it, so they didn't spoil it.
And we counted that. We counted that as a ballot.
You just didn't put it on anyone's name, I guess.
That's right.
Okay. So there's also something else that they have to do. They have to tear something off. Right?
Oh, yeah, the number up there.
Right. Tear that off. But this is a sample ballot, so there's not any names on it.
It seems like a lot of stuff, but we're there at the polling places. We always tell them, make sure you tear that off. Don't write on there. We instruct them as we go along, too, when they show up. So.
And I think most people probably know if you voted before. But if you've never voted before, I think spoiled ballot might be something that we should explain because your vote doesn't count then.
Well, yeah, I mean, at the polling places, ask us. We will help you out. We're not there to judge you or anything. We're
you
there
want
to
your
help.
vote to count. You don't want to have to trash it because someone just doodled something on it.
Right.
But okay. So what do they need to bring when they come to vote?
Just themselves.
No ID?
Nah. Oh, sorry.
I was like, wait a minute.
I think no.
Do they need to bring an ID? Let me rephrase that. Do they need to show anything? Driver's license, CDIB?
Yes, and that's
something.
Yeah, that's in the Constitution.
Okay,
and in the ordinance, you must have a valid photo ID or tribal member card on that deal. Passports should still work too as well, as long as it's got your picture and everything on it.
Something to prove who you are to vote. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even if you sometimes, I think at one time a tribal member showed up and they couldn't find their name on the registered, and but they had their tribal member card or whatever.
Did you let them vote?
Well, we asked them a question, but they had the right to vote. So what happened was they went ahead and wrote her name down.
Oh, so
from the ID
they were
and let them
inadvertently left off the list for whatever reason, which is not their fault.
Well, what happens is, especially with women, is that their names,
maiden name, right? They
yes,
get married,
yes.
right? Or they probably could have been on there, but you just couldn't find them,
and under a different name, under the ID they have, we couldn't find them.
It didn't match up,
right?
But they still got to vote. Mm-hmm. They were an eligible voter. Who are the eligible voters? What? 18?
Yeah, anybody over 18.
So anyone over 18
is an eligible voter.
Okay, so they were over 18. You just couldn't find them on the list, but they were probably on there.
No. I mean, they had their CDIB card, they had their number. We just couldn't find them.
Couldn't find them on the list. They were probably there somewhere.
Right.
You don't want to read through that list. You'd be there all day, probably trying to. So something else I want to address: are the ballots printed and produced by AST Media?
No, they're not.
That's right. Okay. No, we don't have anything to do with
you wanting our money?
No, well, I don't want to be involved in the printing of the ballots. Who does that? Is that an outside company?
Yeah, it's an outside company. They're here in Shawnee.
Okay.
Been used for several years and stuff, but, they don't have to be the sole source.
Right.
But they've just
it's
been
not
doing
tribal. We're not printing ballots or anything.
Yeah, the whole purpose of that is, and that's part of our checks and balance. If we have like media here or do any of that, somebody's going to be in charge or whatever.
Right.
We have an outside source that really keeps the security, and safety of those ballots. And they'll come
the printing.
Yes.
So that's another thing you just hit on, checks and balances. Who's checking? How is that working?
Oh.
Are we doing checks and balances?
Yeah.
That's why I want to ask.
Right here,
it
states in here exactly how we're supposed to run this election, how we check everything and stuff. Like I told you, absentee ballots, that name is highlighted a certain color. And as soon as we open that ballot up, that envelope up, we see the affidavit. And if the affidavit's good, then we'll highlight another color over that color, and it changes like blue and green make red or whatever.
Right.
And that shows that absentee ballot is valid. So then we put it in the absentee ballot box. And we go through each and every one of them. But we don't open up the yellow envelope or the colored envelope until we're done with the election.
Okay.
At 6 p.m. when we
Okay.
come back here. But the whole deal is our checks and balances, since it's the election commission and us 5 members are the ones to run this. We have the judge there and the police officers there. And we count them. We don't have any outside. If we had an outside source, how would you know if the spoiled ballots or, if the machine actually counted it?
Right.
You see, you're always going to have human intervention to count things. And as long as since we only have like almost 5,000 members.
But not everyone votes either.
It's about up to 350, 400 votes.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt for us to
Count them.
tally them up
Right.
and stuff. And we had the watchman there. That was
another thing I was going to ask. So the candidates can have a watcher,
and they're watching us tally it up. And during that deal, we got the 5 members there, right? We even have the alternates tallying as well. So just in case something happens, we still got that backup. And then we got the judge there
right?
to,
And PD is usually there, right?
yeah. So, yeah, very good. And every process we do, those ballot boxes has 2 locks on them. Judge has a key, commissioner has a key. And that is it.
So what about the absentee ballots when you collect them? Are those put in the lockbox?
Yeah, they're locked up.
Okay, they're locked up. You're not going to go get some more out of your car, or they're all locked up. You
Yes.
don't. They all when you go
Yes.
get the mail, they go immediately into the lockbox.
That's right. That is right. And we don't open them until that morning of the election when we go down and pick up those boxes. And according to the Constitution, anybody can view that too. The opening of last year's boxes.
Right.
Open them up, watch us destroy them, put them in the trash deal, show everybody, hey, see, boxes empty, nothing in there.
Right, before you put those in there.
Yeah, kind of like a magician, see, it's empty.
Abracadabra, you got.
And then we lock them back up, and then we go through all the absentee ballots, make sure the affidavit's good, and then we put all those ballots in that box. Once it's done, we tape over that hole. I sign my name. The judge puts his name on it, and then that box is locked up, and PD watches it for us.
Oh, okay.
And then we go. Then we travel to our next polling place, and PD escorts us there. They're always with us. So.
That's good. So there's your checks and balances right there coming into play.
Right.
What about? We didn't hit on this. I was going to ask campaigning at the polling places on election day.
That stayed right here in the Constitution.
There we go. Right.
Everything's in there. Yes, you cannot campaign on the day of the election. People think that you can't campaign, on the complex or whatever. I said no. It's on the
Election.
polling places,
Right.
Any tribal land, even adjacent to the polling places. But you can still campaign on election day, but just not at the polling place. Right. Any tribal land adjacent to the polling place, you're good. Because I think at one time somebody was sitting there having like a little voting party or whatever. It was at the Foreign Legion, or that, what's that? Is that not Foreign Legion? Next door to the Resource Center.
Oh, I know.
American Legion.
The American Legion.
Yes.
Right.
They were having a little partying over there, and
Oh.
one of the candidates and stuff. And somebody go, they can't do that. I said, yeah, they can. That's not tribal land.
Okay, so you could stand out on Highway 9 if you wanted to. Just,
Yeah,
I mean, if you
want to
wanted
risk
to,
it.
if you want to, yeah, I wouldn't do that, but you could.
Yeah.
But you couldn't stand out here on the complex anywhere.
No.
No.
Now about campaigning, during that election process time, if you're campaigning, at the complex or down the health center or the casino, that's their discretion in their rules if you can,
Right.
or cannot. So
We're going by your guidelines here, the Constitution.
Yeah,
and
we
your
had some
ordinance.
complaints. Somebody's campaigning on. I said, well, it's not election day. Yes, they can. Well, I heard you can't. I said, well, talk to the executive committee. They might have a rule that you can't campaign.
Right.
But our Constitution says no campaigning on election day at the polling places or any land, tribal land,
Tribal-owned
adjacent
land,
to
right.
polling places.
And the Constitution is on the website.
Yes.
By the way, as
And-
is your
and-
election
or-
ordinance.
yes.
It is on the website. So if someone wanted to read all this, it is there.
Well, yeah, that's why I want to let them know. anything you hear about the election commission and what we're doing and stuff, we seriously go by these two documents right here. These are the most important documents, and we go by these. And we do not try to go around them or whatever. We use them to solve all issues that we have.
It all goes back to this. Right. Okay. And that's on the website if anyone wants to read it. It's there in black and white.
Yes.
So I think we've talked about all the ways that you can vote. Even if you don't live here, you can still vote. But if you look at the past elections, the voting is low. The numbers are low. They've always been low. What do you think? Maybe 10%? Maybe? You said 300 or 400 people vote. Why do you think it's so low? Because you can vote if you don't live here.
That's true.
Or if you can't be here, you got to work.
I really can't.
I don't know. It's just very low.
It's just, well, it all depends on the office that is up for running.
You think that's it?
Yeah, a lot of times it is, A lot of times it's, if it's just election commission, you ain't going to get very many people come and vote on it. I mean, for some reason,
They just don't want to vote.
Well,
they don't want to vote you in.
And myself.
You vote yourself in, that counts. But people should vote.
Governor, secretary, that's a big one.
That's coming up next year.
That's usually about almost 350 to 400.
So that's
votes.
a good.
Yeah.
But,
and then when it comes to lieutenant governor, secretary and representative.
No, treasurer.
Treasurer, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, treasurer. Yeah.
That'll be the year after that. Right.
And those tend to be a little bit around between 350.
That's still about 10%, maybe.
But that's the majority of our tribal members that live
in this area. Those are the ones that vote. But you can still vote if you don't live here.
Right. But, as we got out-of-state tribal members, I mean, we almost got 5,000 members.
I know. That's a lot.
But just around here in this area, I think it's only maybe, 1,500?
I mean, but the majority I know of tribal members do live in here in Oklahoma. But the ones that actually get out and vote. And then you got to exclude the kids, the eligible voters.
Right.
But it's typically kind of low, but the numbers are about the same, though. But people should vote, right?
And most of them are elders that voted.
Yes, they do.
No more concerned. I mean, the youngins, the 20-somethings and stuff, they're out there trying to get a life and stuff. They probably don't really.
It's not a priority for them.
Yes.
But the elders are, you're right. They're the ones, the core voters. They've always voted.
Yeah. And that's usually your elders, the ones, like me. When I was young, I probably didn't vote as much when I was younger and stuff. But now that I'm older and want to get more involved with the tribe, now I vote.
Now you're voting, and now you're on the election commission.
Yeah,
I was like, you're really involved in the tribe.
Yeah, because I went out there, I lived my life. Now I wanted to come back, so I did, and
here
I
you are.
figured I want to get involved now. So
you are involved. You're also on another elders council.
Yes,
so
yes.
There's another. You're really busy. You're involved. But people should vote. They should care. I mean, it's important. It affects them.
Well, it's people always say, I ain't going to vote because my vote don't matter. Well, yes, it does. It really does. I mean, it might not feel like it or whatever, but it does.
Well, we've had some close elections. The last couple, I think it was 12 votes, maybe. Don't quote me on that. I want to say 12 or 14.
Yes.
It was decided. That's a small. That's not like 200. That's
we were sitting there waiting. I said, "Hold on, guys, we got to wait."
That's close
because they might want to do a recount or recall.
I think it was 12 or 14.
Yeah,
it wasn't very many. That's a close one.
I think that was a lieutenant governor deal.
Was
yes,
it? Okay, I was thinking rep, but it might have been lieutenant governor.
Let's see. The rep was.
I don't. It was kind of close too.
Oh, it was Dwayne. Yeah,
it was close.
Yeah, that one.
Maybe it was. I don't know.
They were,
it's been a few years ago, but it was close.
Right.
So it does matter. You should vote. Your vote counts. So if someone wants more information, you actually have 2 web pages on the website. Did you know that?
I do now.
You do know. You just learned something. You've got one on the main page, which is a lot of things that the public can look at. There's also one on the tribal member login side. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's where we there's a lot of things on tribal member login side, but that's what.
Yeah, for members only.
Yes, you would have to log in with your CDIB. That's where all the agendas and minutes, everything just for tribal members.
And also probably where the voting instructions and stuff like that.
Absentee ballot, all of that stuff is on, but you have 2 pages. So
Good.
You also have an email that will go to all of you, election.commission@astribe.com.
Yes.
They can always call you, 275-4030, extension 3537. That'll get you to Shirley, to the office. Or just the general email would get to all of you. So before we close, is there anything else that we didn't hit on? Anything else you want to say? I feel like we've covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah. What I want to say is this: when I was at General Council, I heard the treasurer mention about Election Commission outsourcing us. Well, I'm going to let the people know if we did that, you wouldn't have the security and checks and balances we have now. You'll have a company that's going to be doing our elections, and I don't have no facts or whatever rumors. I heard other tribes had issues with outsourcing elections. Someone, go back. We have a good process that's in our Constitution. As long as this election commission, tribal members vote us in to make sure that this election is secure, safe, and your voice is always heard. It's also in our mission statement, too.
That's
as
right,
well.
which is on the website
Yes.
as well. Okay, well, hopefully someone is inspired to vote next election because it's about more than politics. It's about voice, identity, and the right to decide what comes next.
Yes.
Thank you for being here today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. I'm Mindy Longhorn. We hope you join us next time as we talk Among the Shawnee.
Yahweh, Yesi Hakueta Wiani, Salanoki Kenolepwa.